Welcome to Volume 11 Rock Talk Podcast, brought to you by Volume 11 Music. Your hosts, Rich Hoffa, Rick Lawhorn, and Mark Dunn. Rock Talk, Volume 11 Music.
Hey, how's it going? Welcome to Rock Talk at Volume 11 Music in Fredericksburg, Virginia. I'm Rich.
Rick Lawhorn.
Mark Dunn. That's it. So,
and Dizzle and the Hizzle.
Yeah. So we're back, and this is episode, what, 44? 44 episodes.
Reggie Jackson. Double fours there.
So, obviously, you're enjoying the video, so hit the like button, subscribe, and we're getting a lot of comments. I do read all the comments. I hope you guys do too. Hard to answer back because we could get into a real long conversation with running this place. I've got so much to do. I can't even keep my head above water. But yeah, so we're gonna piggyback on last week's episode and talk about some bands that maybe they didn't do a farewell, that it would have been nice to see them do a farewell, or bands that are current that maybe think about doing a farewell show like that. I'll let you guys start it off.
There's a couple of bands out there that aren't even the band that ostensibly shouldn't. I mean, their farewell happened because everyone's dead.
It's just
it
happened.
And I'm not being disrespectful.
No, circumstances.
Molly Hatchet's the example.
I love Hatchet.
I mean, how do you do a farewell tour when you are able to perpetuate the name as a brand?
Yeah.
Well, it's the genius of Kiss, because when those guys are dead and gone, those kids are going to license people to go out and mask and play the shows.
Wear the mask, keep on rocking.
Yeah, but I think that's kind of what Gene Simmons said that, and I think Paul in some sort of interview, if I remember
made some
right,
comments.
Made some comments about that because of the alter egos. They could dress anybody up, or not anybody.
Enough
but
bands
they could do that.
Kiss tribute bands now.
Oh, I know.
I got a friend out in San Francisco and grew up with Jonathan Fenno, and their band kicks butt doing the Kiss thing.
Yeah.
In fact, they've played Kiss conventions.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Yeah, out on the West Coast.
Oh, that's crazy.
So it's inevitable.
Yeah.
And that's tangential to the topic. But.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And the only other recent band that I think, is, of course, I'm a big Kicks fan, and they did that. They did a celebration, and they, Steve Whiteman was, said that he wanted to do it. He's, lost a little bit of step, can't perform the way he used to, and said it was the right time to do it. And then, of course, Jimmy, the drummer, basically having a heart attack on stage and all that kind of stuff.
That's rock and roll right there.
It's rock and roll. It's time to do it, and they got to do it. And they brought up old members of the band, and had some opening bands and stuff like that. It was a great show. Brought everybody up. And
did you go?
And I didn't go. I
was it on pay-per-view?
No, it wasn't. But hey, they sold out Merriweather, and it was all their friends, and it was a great show. But what other bands?
I would say whenever they decide they want to do it, because they're still kind of doing shows, but you got something for the Rolling Stones. You've got Mick, you've got Keith Richards. Both in their 80s now. It's amazing, the run that they've had. It really is. And at some point,
Bill Wyman's still alive, right?
Bill is, but he retired from the band a good number of years
ago. 20-year-old.
He did. That is correct.
But didn't they do a farewell tour in the 80s?
But that was the Steel Wheels.
Well, the Steel Wheels tour,
because we called that the Steel Wheelchairs tour.
Right? Yeah. I know.
But at some point, they got to say, all right, we're kind of at the bottom of the ninth, if this were a baseball game. And we're going to have a big thing here at Wembley Stadium in England, and we're going to have Mick, and we're going to have Keith, and they're going to do, 10, 12, 14 songs, farewell. And everybody's going to come up and do a song, Aerosmith and Guns N' Roses and, all kinds of bands to pay tribute. And
Start Me Up to Wind Me Down.
And Start Me Up to Wind Me Down. And I think the Stones, whenever they decide that time is should do something similar to what we saw Ozzy and Black Sabbath do. Just a celebration of an amazing career.
Yeah.
They've been around 60 years or whatever it's been, and so I'm going to put the Stones on there.
And it would have to be bands that are at that, that have made it
the pinnacle.
The pinnacle.
Beyond
because your average big name band's not gonna not going to draw enough interest to be able to do it. You know, they could do it on their own terms, like Kix did, and did a local show, and you know, everybody was around, and they even had people, you know, flying in from all over the country to go see that. And, you know, from, you know, different parts of the world.
Did you guys ever see them?
What?
The Stones?
I never seen the Stones.
I never have actually.
No.
I mean, I've got a lot of their albums, heard a million of their songs, played a lot of them in bar bands and whatnot. But I think a few times they would come around, I always end up already having gigs and just wasn't able to make it. You know? But
well, that time I saw them in Raleigh, I got the tickets the day before.
Yeah.
Wow!
And from my neighbor that lived down the street in Norfolk.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm like, yeah, you know what? I was 18.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm like, I felt the pressing need to go see them.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think everybody thought it was going to be their farewell tour.
Yeah.
Now, keep in mind, in '88, people in their 50s playing rock and roll in stadiums.
Yeah, in that era.
Was rare.
Right. Absolutely.
You know, I also saw McCartney at RFK, I think, a couple years later.
Yeah.
But now it's like,
there's
bands that are making it on the scene now that are in their late 40s and 50s.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know? So, it's interesting, the shift of how we perceive the age thing, or how the iconic aspect of the band and the music itself just supersedes all of it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
but you just don't want to see it not be great. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? Because then that's sad.
Yeah.
No, we would. Any of these hypothetical concerts we're creating are going to be amazing. Like the Stones went out with a bang.
I'd like to
and
see
Mick
the
and
Eagles.
Keith
You know, if the Eagles are they even? I haven't even.
Well, yeah, they're doing the
Vegas,
Vegas residency.
Well, Glenn Fry's gone.
But Glenn's gone. Yeah. So we got Vince Gill is in the place.
It was great.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
and that's it's adjacent to the Eagles because Timothy B. Schmidt was in Pure Prairie later. No,
Poco. He was in Poco.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought they might have played together. I mean, Vince Gill's amazing, but it's not the Eagles.
No, I've said the same thing. He's an amazing talent. I mean, there's no question. He's amazing. But you're right. When you think of the Eagles, I mean, Glenn Fry's, as far as I'm concerned, he's a big part of that equation.
Right.
You know, I mean, that lead vocal on so many of those songs that he sang and wrote, and without him, it's just.
They should just take the G out of the name and call them the Eels.
Yeah.
There actually was a band called the Eels. Do you remember that? They were like an alternative rock band back in the 90s. They had a couple albums out. So yeah.
But we were talking earlier a couple days ago about the Beatles.
Like you got Paul McCartney, obviously, he's still around. You got Ringo. A celebration of the Beatles again, Wembley Stadium. Why not? British, England.
Paul's on tour again.
I know during the Paul thing. But as the Beatles, like we're closing this chapter out, we're gonna have maybe John Lennon's son, Julian can come on board,
and
George,
Danny Harrison.
and come back and again just play a few farewell songs and have a lot of singers and artists and bands.
It'd be a lot of fun to see
kind of like a farewell and thanks for the amazing 60, 65 years of music that those songs have been around for.
And it's just unfortunate too that a lot of the bands that are iconic are just people were taken too soon, or John was 40 when he was murdered, and George was 54 when he passed. So that aspect of being even able to acknowledge a career is gone for half the band. But thankfully, Black Sabbath, last week's episode, those dudes were all still around.
You still got the original 4 that were on those albums from the early 70s, and not a lot of other bands can really make that.
And Priest is calling it.
This
Priest,
is their last one.
It'd be nice to see. Les Binks just passed away.
Yes,
so he was their first drummer.
Right.
Mm-hmm. What was their second drummer's name that just got replaced? Dave Holland.
Dave Holland.
So I think he's still alive.
Yeah.
So you could actually do almost a full majority.
No, Dave Holland has passed away a few years ago.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
So now Les
we really don't have as many.
So it's just Scott.
We've got Scott.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Scott's been in the band longer than
Yes, I know. It's amazing the career he's had.
So I would bet that Glenn and KK will probably get up, but I think Glenn's got some health.
He's Parkinson's disease. Unfortunately.
Yeah. Led Zeppelin would be another good one.
Right. I mean, it's kind of weird the way they were, we talked about some of the old episodes, they were on the top of the game, and sadly, John Bonham passes away, and that's it. We're done. That's it.
Yeah.
And to really have that final farewell, bring Jason Bonham up, and just, again, they don't have to do, just do 8 songs or whatever.
Yeah.
And just a kind of a farewell, and, all the bands that can come up there to, Steven Tyler could do the Whole Lot of Love on that one.
Yeah.
Well, Van Halen was going to do it.
Right.
They were going to do... Eddie was calling it the Kitchen Sink Tour.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that.
And and Wolf was going to open.
Yeah.
Because Wolf's album, that first album, was done for 3 years before he released it because his dad was sick.
Right.
But they were even going to have Sharon.
Wow. Okay, I didn't know that.
I mean, how do you not? If
Well,
you're going to acknowledge
if you're
your
gonna-
history,
Right.
You have to, right.
And it's not like Gary's not amazing.
Right.
So, I mean, can you imagine? So I laugh about it because obviously that's my favorite band, but that's probably the universe's way of saying there's no way that can happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's no way that Dave Roth and
Oh,
Sam.
no.
Right.
I don't see that
How
happening.
do you underwrite that tour
Right.
as an insurance company, or even because it was going to be a tour, not just a show.
Right.
Okay.
So, and it was going to be all stadiums, all football stadiums.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
but that would have been amazing.
Oh yeah, and Sammy was good at the Black Sabbath tribute thing. So
He did all right.
He did okay.
Flying high again.
Yeah.
A whole step down.
Whole step. Yeah. Got the guitars too.
Flying low again.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, I think I don't know. I think it just for some of those iconic bands, I think it'd be really great if they could, pull off something like that just to see one more last hurrah.
I'd love to final Pink Floyd. I don't think it would ever happen, but a Pink Floyd farewell forever kind of concert.
Who do you have?
Well, Roger Waters, but he and David Gilmour just can't stand each other. So much bad blood. And the drummer's still alive.
Oh,
the only one that died was the keyboard
Yeah.
player.
And Sid Barrett.
Is there any Eagles tribute bands?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We heard the Groove we just had.
Oh, did we?
Playing.
Okay. Yeah. How about Boston? Because I know
there is, because I saw on Facebook,
Yeah.
they're not playing around here, but there actually was a band that was, I'm thinking, man, he get to be the lead singer for that one.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
If you're in a Boston tribute band, then you should just go ahead and join Boston.
Right.
Because if you can sing like that.
Like Brad Delp, Boston.
That's crazy.
But so there is a Boston tribute band.
We were talking about Jeff Beck tribute. You're not going to have one of those either.
Well, he's actually.
But you were doing some Jeff Beck stuff.
But what's his name? The guitar player that sits down and had a Gibson signature model that played with out of Boston. You know who I'm talking about. Sits down, dark hair. Johnny A.
Oh, Johnny A. Yeah.
Johnny
right.
A. I'm sorry if he watches because Johnny and I talk on Facebook, but killer guitar player.
Yeah.
And did a Beck tribute show.
Oh wow!
Yeah, no, he is a great guitar player.
Yeah, wonderful guitar player.
I gotcha.
But did some Beck stuff the other night over at the Richmond Music Hall impromptu. That was a lot of fun.
Very cool.
I was just stoked, like I was telling you earlier.
Yeah.
That a crowd that I didn't know how they were going to receive any of the stuff we were doing.
Yeah.
And then we lit into Freeway Jam, and like they came unglued. I'm like, all
awesome.
right.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay.
Great song.
Yeah.
Really good song.
But yeah, I mean, some of the blues guys. I mean, it's almost like B.B. King played almost till he died.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And that's a
I got
shame.
to see him.
Me too. It
went
was
up
great.
to a place, one of those places up in Wolf Trap.
Wolf Trap.
Yeah, so I went up there with a couple friends. I got to see B.B. King. It was great. B.B. King does a great job. Mm-hmm.
And Les Paul just used to do the residency at the Iridium. It was every Monday, I think, for the longest time.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then he started taking a Monday off. Mm-hmm. But it was kind of like that,
Yeah.
I don't know that he ever actually said, I'm done.
Right.
You
Like
know?
I quit it. This was it. This was the.
And, I think there's something to be said. To this point, though, we were talking about it. The guitar players and the drummers, depending upon the athleticism of the drums, and the bass players, their age doesn't necessarily diminish their skill.
Right.
But with the singers,
there's a different story.
Yeah.
and that's why I think Rob Halford is such an anomaly, because that dude's still bringing it.
Yeah.
And that, you're not going to, I mean, Ozzy, God bless him, but on that show, their farewell show, you could tell it was a struggle.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, of course he did, some songs better than others. I think some of them, but I think a lot of it too, like some of the songs, I mean, he's honestly choking up.
Right.
Maybe
singing some of that
the
stuff.
emotions,
Emotions and things like
knowing
that.
this is the last time I'm going to be in front of a crowd, the big crowd at that, to perform these songs,
Yeah, so
it's actually hard to sing sitting down too.
Yeah,
compared
exactly.
to standing up.
Yeah.
Especially when you're going to sing up in that register that he's singing. So.
Yeah, for sure.
But as far as who we were joking. I'd love to see a few bands have their last show.
Yeah. As in just they're done.
That's just a hater being not nice.
Yeah, everybody I mentioned, it was all love. It was all like, we love the Stones.
Yeah.
Farewell to Mick and Keith, or we love Pink Floyd. David Gilmour, Roger Waters.
Is everybody from Bad Company still alive?
No, the guitar player just died about a week and a half
Mick
ago.
Rouse.
Mick Rouse. Yeah, and the bass player died about 7 or 8 years ago. So you only have Paul Rogers and the drummer, who were also in Free.
That's right.
So they were in Free, but they're also in Bad Company. So
is that to me? Paul Rogers.
Paul, that voice is.
Yeah, but it could be Paul Rogers could do a legacy show and call it a quits.
Yeah.
Because Bad Company, Free,
Free.
The Firm,
right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
And he fronted Queen for a bit, if you remember that. Remember that stint?
So that's thanks for bringing that up.
Okay.
So I don't think they're going to do a final show, because when they came back out with Adam Lambert, which I'm not begrudging, in any other way other than the bass player didn't even want to do it.
No, John Deacon said, I'm out.
Because when Freddie Mercury died, that band's over.
I said that back in 91, 92. If there's one singer that the death was just too great.
Over.
And Freddie's death was just,
no disrespect.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree.
And Adam Lambert is a great singer.
No, he's a very talented singer.
Yeah. But no.
But Mercury's just a one-of-a-kind voice.
Here's the thing about what I think bugs me about it, is that they could have found a singer when Freddie Mercury passed away.
Right.
But a couple things were going on. The AIDS epidemic at the time was still kind of a cresting wave. It was it probably, you're not going to find a guy just like Freddie, obviously, but that probably would have been deemed callous.
Right, yeah.
But
in that era,
But to wait damn near 30 years.
Right.
And then come back out as Queen, and John Deacon's like,
yeah, I'm done.
They should. I think they probably.
And with Paul Rogers, they didn't say he was the lead singer of Queen. It was Queen with Paul Rogers.
Right.
And
which is probably how he made it.
And he's like, Queen is Queen. They just unfortunately don't have Freddie anymore.
Yeah.
Paul Rogers is Paul, and we're joining forces to do some shows. And then they did do some big shows. I mean,
no, they were successful. It just felt weird.
Yeah.
It's to me that was a money grab. But I get them wanting to play. Sure.
Right.
Yeah, you still do it.
Yep.
Just felt weird.
That's it. All right, that wraps up this week's episode of Rock Talk. Don't forget to hit the like button, the subscribe button, and comment. We're trying to get those followers up. We're still shooting for 1,500.
But not the follower that I had to get the restraining order.
Oh no, not yet.
Too funny, but so where are you guys playing at this weekend?
I'm at Calliope's. That's in Mineral, Virginia. That's going to be on Saturday, July 26th, which is Mick Jagger's 82nd birthday.
Oh my goodness!
And that is
he going to be there?
Yeah, Mick's coming in from London to sit in on a few songs with us. So we're there. It's 6 o'clock, 6 to 9 o'clock. Calliope's, Cactus Jack, Mineral, Virginia on Saturday.
Cool deal.
Friday, tomorrow I'm at Bear Chase in Bluemont. And then Saturday, I'm at Blue Pete's. It's a blue weekend.
Blue.
All right.
In Virginia Beach with the band.
Okay, cool. Well, yeah. Well, that wraps up this week's episode of Rock Talk. Don't forget to support your local music stores, your local musicians. Visit our website, volume11music.com. And we'll see you next week. Peace.
This has been an episode of Volume 11 Rock Talk Podcast, brought to you by Volume 11 Music.